Good evening, everyone, and welcome to round. I believe this is 4, or it could be 3. My apologies. It is round 3. Sorry, my apologies for doubting you, there, Mr. Padawan, of the Formula 3 SRW Championship, brought to you by DSL Welding. Tonight we are at the Nürburgring Sprint layout of the track, so a bit of a shorter layout. Temperatures coming in quite nicely, 19 degrees, 33-degree track temp, pretty stock standard for what we've been doing here. Tonight I am joined by Chef Todd Thornburn, and Nathan Padawan Howard, being our producer tonight. Toddy, round 3.
How you doing? How you doing? This is going to be a very exciting night again. I'm very excited to be back in the F3s again. So we do the alternating weeks between the Radicals and the F3. So excited to be back in this little bit of a track layout with these F3s. It should be very exciting racing. Should make for very close racing.
Yeah, I don't know. This is not one of my preferred layouts, but these guys have sorted it out and have got to grips with it. We're just on board with Nathan. Vernie now has a little bit of a spin. We've just started qualifying, so we will be getting amongst it and seeing what the times are like. Practice was just a little bit ago, and I think they were doing, let me have a look here. They were doing about, quickest time was a 1:22 flat, so I reckon if Stefan McCartan is doing a 22 flat, we'll see a 21. Actually, Alex Court did do a 21.9, so we will be seeing 21s in quali tonight.
We definitely will be. It'd be nice to see if we can see low 21s, eh? That'll be, I'm sure everybody seems to not show all their cards in practice, which is very, very smart of them. So I think in qualifying, we'll see some those times definitely drop, eh?
Yeah, 100%. These boys coming out of the pits, John McHenry, one of our resident admins, and Locked On Racing, the 00 car. He's doing quite well. Apologies, we've been told that the viewing angles aren't the best here, so we've sort of got limited camera angles that we can use. I suppose maybe we might have to whip out that rear chase cam, Toddy, if it permits.
I think so. We can do a rundown of the track name, the track corner names, and all that sort of stuff a bit later on. This is a really cool track, and it is a bit different with this layout. So it does kind of cut out some of those really exciting bits, as you kind of said. You know, it cuts out that Mercedes arena, which is aptly named because it's somewhere that over the years Lewis Hamilton has definitely dominated that part of the GP track, or that part of the F1 track. So it's interesting to see these cars without that. So we won't see as much elevation change. So it might lower these guys into a false sense of security and make them get a bit sideways. So let's we don't want anybody to crash, but you know, it's always exciting for the viewers.
It's always exciting to watch the crash. I know some people do watch the crashes. So hopefully we're just watching some good racing tonight. It was seeing the Fishy Motorsports boys. That was, I believe, Robbie Griffiths locking up behind Brett Woodby there. He's just gone to the runoff there. Sorry, I don't believe that's hang on.
Yep, Brett Woodby. That's just behind him, just behind Brett Woodby. But we're on board with Brett Woodby at the moment in the number 25 car.
80 is Robbie Griffiths. My apologies. Sorry.
It was Robbie Griffiths. Nice one. Yep. Nailed it. Here we go, Brad Wall. He's one to watch. He's done very well in the last couple of rounds in different series and different races. So he's one to watch. He's a very patient racer, so he'll chop his way through there. So
yeah, Brad's done some pretty on and off performances. So interesting to see what he can do tonight in the F3s. You know, the supercars were sort of down the order, and then in the Porsche Cup was down the order, then up the order, then down the order. But I think the one to watch tonight will probably be Robbie Griffiths, who's had some pretty good performances.
He most definitely has. And the old guy's always to watch as well. Alex Court is always very, very fast, no matter where he is in these cars. So he'll be definitely one to watch also. And also, definitely, we need to always keep an eye out for the SRW TV guys, Dean and Steven Sinkovich.
It's a couple of boys there who's got some cheeky times, probably did maybe a bit more practice than normal. We've got Nathan Verney, who actually does quite well, just has had some hard luck a couple of times. Jake Edwards is back, he's quite fast. A couple of the boys going to be doing quite well tonight, I reckon.
I think so, and I just noticed something. Stefan McCartan's already into the 22s, mate. So I think you'll be right. We'll definitely be seeing break into the 21s, even the mid 21s here.
Yeah, I reckon we'll see some mid 21 times for sure.
Not even warm tyres yet, right? So.
No, I reckon he's got some warm tyres, possibly is. We're just on board with Dean now. We've got, what is it? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Sorry,
Definitely
wait.
not in the pit window yet,
11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 16 drivers tonight, so a couple of points on offer, a little bit of a less field, so there'll be some good fights for the top 10. As I think we're just back to our normal format tonight of just the one 40-minute race. I believe that is how the F3s actually run every week, so no issues there.
So mandatory pit stop and tyre change, I believe.
Yes, so that pit stop always comes in handy. Is not sure if all the tyres need to be changed, but I think it is just the 2 like normal. But that 40 minutes will definitely come into play, and the fuel as well, having to take a little bit of fuel on board.
Yeah, a splash of fuel, and who can actually, it'll be interesting who saves the fuel and saves the tyres enough for that first stint to make their pit stop a touch shorter, putting a little bit less gas in and that sort of stuff, spending a little bit less time in the pits. You might see a couple of moves there, a couple of people with being patient there, or towards the back in that first stint might be able to get up a couple of spots after their pit stop there. So interesting to see their thinking on that. Wow, what is that? We've got a 21.8. Great.
6.2 from Stefan McCartan. That is an absolutely flying lap for Crisscross Racing. We're going to stay on board as he goes through another lap and just loses the rear end there. So that'll probably be an aborted lap, as you can see him just slowly going through the gears. And sometimes that happens, Toddy. You just end up pushing too hard and the rear end steps out. And he caught it well, though.
He did, most definitely. And these things are very hard to catch as well. Yeah, they're very unlike a lot of other cars. They're very unforgiving. They have all the grip, but they know none of the grip. So it can be like sticking like the proverbial to a blanket, or it can be like ice skating in these things. So especially with the amount of power they've got, hey, they don't weigh a hell of a lot either. Oh, look at that for a view here. Look at that. We are going through the Mercedes arena. I apologies for my earlier comments. So it's beautiful, and it's called the Mercedes Arena, as you see up on that big round building on the left-hand side. Always is a big Mercedes symbol on the outside of that. So quite a nice little ode to Mercedes, I suppose, being a German track and all.
Down the back, so coming onto this straight now is one of the nicest part of the track, but also there's that right-hander that comes along in the middle sort of the track, the long sweeping left, and then it's a left-right long sweeping left, and then a hairpin. That's one of my favorite parts of the circuit, so the fact that they've missed it out is I'm a bit disappointed, but it'll provide some good racing nonetheless.
Yeah, it will, most definitely it will, and I think these guys will have to adapt to something a little bit different, I think, tonight, because being used to that normal, I did a few laps around here, and I was expecting in certain spots, because the way the track layout you're used to, you're actually braking a lot more than you should be in certain spots and not braking enough in other spots. So it's going to be very interesting if it catches people out, especially at that sort of 30-minute mark when you get a little bit tired, you get a bit fatigued, and then all of a sudden you kind of make those little complacent mistakes, you know. So we might see some cracks start to form after that pit stop or around that sort of pit window.
Yeah, definitely. I reckon usually they pit around the 20-minute mark about halfway in, and I think the fuel also just gets them to pit as well. So a very fast lap from Robbie Griffiths, who's done a 121.9. He's just about half a tenth off of Stefan McCartan. So Alex Court sitting still in the 23, so we definitely have to keep an eye on him to see what type of lap time he does, because he is a regular podium sitter in all four formats of the SRW leagues brought to you by DSL Welding.
Such great races. We've had such awesome success with the whole series, haven't we, Dano, so far? We've had some great racing, a lot of really close racing, but then a lot of very varied racing as well, with all the different disciplines that we do, with the Porsches and the Radicals and the F3s and the V8s.
Yeah, there's a lot of different variation, and Robbie Griffiths actually going pole position by just under a tenth of a second. That is an awesome lap by Robbie, and Stefan is going to have to do some awesome, some magic, to get that one there.
Pull something definitely pretty creative out of his hat.
100%, Toddy. He's going to have to pull something special out of that hat.
I'm just bringing up my track map again, just to remind myself of corner names again, so I don't miss anything with it.
Yeah, Alex Court is on a lap, I believe, and he's still not done 22, so that's quite concerning. I personally, for me, is seeing him still on the 23 is almost 3 seconds down, so these lap times are really heating up now.
Yeah, definitely. Alex Court, I thought he'd be up a bit higher, but he might be on a flyer now. He might have just taken a little bit longer to get into tyre temp, and his preferred sort of optimum tyre window of pressures and temperature on the track and all that sort of stuff. It does really come down to your style you're driving and things like that as well. So it might kick in a little bit longer, a little bit later. So you never know. This Alex Court lap here that we're on right now could be actually a big flyer. You never know.
Yeah, he's usually up there, and he's pretty good on his tyres. He's usually able to take them quite far, as we'll see as he comes across the line now. Alex Court, where is he going to place himself on the leaderboard?
Oh,
is it a fast lap?
He's his time. No, he's staying where he is.
Not. So Alex Court's done a 1:23.6 on that lap. So not sure what's going on in his garage, but he'll be wanting to get some positions off the starting line, that's for sure.
You are 100%. It could be one of those ones. As I was saying earlier, is that it could be just used to one layout and not quite used to this layout all that much. It does to this corner especially, as you're coming down to it's some people call it Dunlop, some people call it Ring, but yeah, we'll just call it Dunlop for tonight for those purposes. That works. I think that's easier. The actual bottom hairpin, that real bottom hairpin, is actually technically called your Dunlop there, but there is a bunch of different names for it, but they're obviously a lot in German, so I'm not even going to attempt them. So just in the fear of butchering them.
Shoot him my way. I'll give him a go, Toddy.
It's a Kursenbindung. Yeah, the Kursenbindung is that bottom little hairpin, that little bootleg. As we come after that is RTL curve. So as we're coming down this main straight here, guys, this is Zielgrad. We come down to Yokohama, as it's actually called by simple terms. But this little switchback, I suppose it'd be is
double left-hander.
Is the Hog Haken is the correct German term for it. As we come down through this whole little sector through here is the Mercedes Arena. So that whole little section, and as we come down to this little bootleg that kind of, this hairpin that comes back around itself is the Kursenbindung. Bit hard one, isn't it?
That is a bit of a tough one, a bit of a tongue twister.
Yeah, and because we've cut out the Schumacher S's, that's what I'm really disappointed about. Those Schumacher S's are really part of the coolest part of this track, to be honest. But that was the RTL curve, guys. That last curve, as you come round, it's a Warsteiner curve. Sorry, that last one we've just jumped into there. That last corner there, as you come onto that main straight, is Coca-Cola curve. So that's an easy one to remember. So the last three corners, that little chicane as we come through that last chicane is the NGK chicane, and that corner behind it is the Advan. So pretty easy to remember, I think. And Warsteiner is beer, so we should remember that beer corner.
Bit of a spin there from Stefan McCartan. Robbie Griffiths has absolutely blown that lap out the water.
Wow.
You can see Stefan is putting in such, he's pushing very, very hard to try and get that lap back and get that pole position, but currently Robbie Griffiths still on provisional pole, the 80 car, so he has got some speed on him tonight, and as I said, he'll be one to watch, and he is.
Absolutely flying in that Fishing Motorsports car, eh? Wow, he is fast tonight. He's always been one to watch, but he's got some extra pace around here tonight.
Yep.
Might be one of his favourite tracks. What do you reckon, Dano?
You're welcome.
Oh, it certainly might be. This is a new Team Greg livery, the blue. That's a very nice looking little checkered livery on the side.
I do like how with the F3s, these guys have they changed up their liveries a little bit and stuff. I quite like that. They're keeping with the whole themes of F1, how they kind of change it up for different rounds. I kind of like how that people seem to be doing that. Alex Court seems to have a different livery this week as well, which is really cool. So maybe a couple of these teams have done special livery for Nürburgring week. Who knows?
Who does?
100%. Big shout out to everybody watching. Thank you very much for coming to see us at SRW TV. Yeah, awesome to have you guys. Make sure you jump on, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, jump on all our socials, hit the likes, hit the loves. Give us all the love in the world. Send us some good vibes. We'll send you all the good vibes back, and come and chill out with us on a Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday night, and Saturday for Mayhem also. I think I covered everything. Dano, I'm sure there's lots of stuff I haven't covered, so feel free to jump in and...
I was a touch distracted. Our sponsors, DSL Welding tonight, our major sponsor, and our promo department safety car as well, being one of our sponsors tonight. Hopefully we won't have to see that safety car tonight. We want some nice, clean racing. But I think with 2 minutes left to go in quali, as Robbie Griffiths getting out of the way of Alex Court on a flying lap. He's on a quick one.
They're flying.
Hopefully going to get into that top 5 is where he wants to be. Tyson Styles in front of him and Nathan Benny. Stefan McCartan sets a 21.5. What a lap. What a lap.
You nailed it. You said mid-21s. Yep, good. Nice. Nailed it, mate.
That's almost middle on the dot as Alex Court rounding out the final corner. He's probably want to go again after this one if he has the fuel, and I reckon he will.
He wants to get back at least into that top 5, right?
Straight, crossing the line. What does he do? It's a 122.48, so he'll definitely go again. Braking into turn 1 now, getting that car nice and turned around.
Right on the apex, sitting right in the middle of that car, right in the middle of the apex of that turn 1 is no easy feat to do. Yeah, than the exit.
I think he might need to take that corner a little bit wider and take the exit speed rather than the entry speed, because, you know, it's all about your exit speed, but this corner is such a tricky corner. You can see him going wide there, that right-hand front tyre locking up a little bit. Coming into the left now. You can hear him dropping the gear and the car just not wanting to almost as it sort of bottled out in the top of that gear and coming down the straight. You can hear him really screaming that car and using every single last rev of that gear, is hitting almost 230 Ks down the straight, braking just at that 50 board, and he's throwing that car in, and that'll be an off track. And unfortunately, that will be his qualifying over. That's very unfortunate for Alex Court, who's had a good season so far. So
Such a fine line, though, isn't it, Deno? Such a
It
fine line,
really,
that last
really
chicane.
is. No, there's a couple of boys on a laps. So Stefan, it doesn't look like is on a lap. Robbie Griffiths is on a lap. He's just started one, just got in for the timing. So I think we'll stay on board with him if he's going to go for another one, try and get that pole position. No, it looks like
Oh,
they're
no.
going to pull over, and I
We're gonna
believe
pull
that will
over.
be qualifying over.
We've got a bit of a comment there from Brad as well. Looking good and sounding good, lads. Got TP, Dano?
I do
That's
not,
from Mr. Bradley
unfortunately.
Wall on our YouTube chat.
But thank you, Brad. Thank you for looking out for me. So we'll go to our standings as we get ready to start this one off.
Here we go. What a qualifying, guys. That was a few upsets there. It seems like Mr. Stars there has done a really nice last lap there. He's jumped ahead of Alex Court. So we'll see how this race pans out, because we've got a few big names in this race, and there's a few upsets there that I think there'll be some people surging up from the back. So
I think one to watch from the back is probably Brad and John, to be honest. They're usually quite good battling through the field, and Alex Court, I reckon, as well, is going to be charging through that field. But who knows? We'll have to see what happens. Nathan Verney looked to have some consistent pace, and Adam Hughes, as always, is usually up in the top three. So Robbie Griffiths seems to have put in the most time, and I'm not going to say effort, but I suppose it looks like he's done the hard yards in practice, and it's showing now on race day.
yeah, most definitely. I think another one we need to watch as well is Callan Hodgkinson in the Super 2s. Has actually made up quite a few positions in our last couple of rounds. So he'll be one to watch as well. I'm not sure if he's still got he's got the same amount of skill in the F3s, but I think he'll be one to watch. We had Super 2s last week, I think it was. He made up 11 positions, I think it was. Right, Nathan, our producer? Yeah. Take it away, Dano.
So taking out our pole position is Stefan McCartan for Crisscross Racing, and I don't think I have gotten his name wrong all night, and I'm going to maintain that. Robbie Griffiths, an outstanding qualifying run from him. He's 2.5 tenths behind in P2 for Fishy Motorsports. Adam Hughes, Crisscross Esports as well in the number 1 car. He's done quite well to put it on P3. Brett Wardby, Nathan Verney for Locked On Racing as well, coming in P5. He's been doing quite well in the last couple of weeks, so we'll keep an eye on him as well. Tyson Styles taking out P6 for Crisscross Racing, and Alex Court all the way down in P7 for After Dark Sim Racing. Bit out of sorts tonight, so we'll be keeping an eye on him as well to see if he can charge through the field from the start.
Mr. Sinkovich, Callan Hodgkinson in 9th, and Dean Sinkovich wrapping up the top 10. Sorry,
Jake Edwards in P8 as well, so apologies, guys.
We don't have the best camera angles, as was mentioned earlier, guys, for this layout of Nürburgring, so apologies for that. So we will all try our best, and we'll make it as exciting as we'll make it more exciting if we can't get the right camera angles. But bear with us.
It's not time for rear chase cam, Nathan.
Yeah,
right?
two laps in, and then go, because then you can get at least some of the madness out.
So we're going to get ready to go here. We're going to go to 5 red lights. Hear those F3 engines roar. And we're away here for round 3 of the F3 here at the Nürburgring. Nathan Verney gets a very good start, getting alongside Brett Wardby. Just behind him is Tyson Styles and Alex Court all the way around the outside. You can see that silver DSL Welding car. A big lockup from Nathan Verney on the opening lap. But it looks like the benefactors from this is Stefan McCartan and Adam Hughes, who have maintained position, and Adam Hughes has actually got up into P2. So Alex Court as well is up alongside Nathan Verney. He's alongside actually Brett Wardby now. Nathan Verney gets away, and Brett, unfortunately, on that inside, maybe got a bit too hard on the power. And unfortunately spins. So Alex Court is now up into P5. He's up 2 positions. Jake Edwards behind him as well, up 2. Tyson Edwards down 1, and Robbie Griffiths and Adam Hughes having that swap up the front. So an overall good start from the top 10.
Very, very good start from the top 10. Robbie Griffiths has slipped down 1 position from his starting position, but he seems to have held it together after the lock-up on his outside earlier. So he's unfortunately his teammates had a bit of a spin. It did look like he got a bit excited on the old gas pedal there. So very exciting race.
This is going to be an exciting battle for third, I reckon. Alex Court's going to have the draft already down the main straight on Nathan Verney. He's probably going to pull to the inside if Nathan doesn't defend. And we see now Alex pulls to the inside, and he will have the inside line. There's been an incident behind. I can see a little bit of smoke. He'll have the inside line and is able to make that move. That is a lovely overtake from Alex Court on Nathan Verney.
We always said he's always overtakes like a hot knife through butter. So we were always saying he was one to watch. Tyson Styles doing very, very well as well there. He ended up actually slotting in qualifying just above Alex Court there. So he's replaced Alex Court there in the 7th position, and Alex Court's made a really nice move up the field.
One to watch actually is John down the back of the field, John McHenry. He's up 4 positions, so a good start from him as well. As that was Brett Wardby, who you could see on the top of your screen spinning out again behind him. He's the smoke earlier we're being told is Greg Johnston from Team Greg, and in front of John McHenry is Peter Morris, also for Fishy Motorsports. So John will be chasing him down, going for that P11, and maybe going for Greg Leake in front for P10.
Yeah, he's always pretty quick. He's always one to watch. When I did, when I said it earlier, the ones down the back we might need to watch. I was inadvertently kind of meaning John, but I didn't want to say it. But he was always going to be one to watch. So we'll see how he very classily works his way up through the field, eh?
We're going to get a quick replay of what happened with Greg. Just watching Alex Court there. We go to the DSL Welding Services action replay as Greg Johnston in the new, I believe that's a new Team Greg livery. I haven't seen that one in the F3 as, just carried a bit too much speed through the corner and got round. So he's able to get back on track nice and clean. You can see him flicking that car around as Alex Court wasn't able to get the move done on Robbie Griffiths. So he's going to be attacking him hard. This is Tyson Styles making a move on Jake Edwards there for P6, a lovely move up the inside. So I think the main way to pass here, I guess, is to really just send it. Because I think all you can really do.
There is certain spots, especially that last corner coming onto the back straight there, Coca-Cola curve. It's always hard because you kind of have to be right at the top of, you have to be really top of those gears out as you're coming through it, and you kind of need to take the kind of entry to the exit of the corner on the curb almost. So it does sort of unsettle your car before you come to the middle of the race line.
That's Steven Sinkovic, getting a bit out of sorts there, but he's got back on track. He's got up and running. Usually when you're coming into those that left and right hander before the back straight and then that kink on the right, is usually you have that little bend. I forget what you called it. My memory is absolutely failing me. But you usually have that hairpin up into the left and right. And usually you can carry that speed along there and a little bit of draft. You can actually make an overtake through there. But since it's cut that part off and you have that right-hander, we're just on board with Jake Edwards now. He is going for Tyson Styles, so Crisscross Racing having a little battle. Since you have this corner here that sort of cuts off half the track, you can't get that draft that you usually can through the other corners into this left-hander here. So you really have to be patient and just hold on to that draft like it looks like Jake is doing now. So he'll come through this corner, get the power down, and he'll have the draft on Tyson Styles. Will he be able to get the move done into the next corner? I'm not sure he'll make the move, but it looks like Tyson's pulled to the inside. He's going to be defending. And they're not going to fight into this corner. This hairpin, you cannot go too wide through. It's not beneficial for anyone if you go through too wide through that corner. So playing it safe, just working together, I reckon.
just after the apex on that last corner as well. The road kind of falls off a little bit, and unfortunately, it kind of falls off a little bit into the sand pit, which is it's never a nice feeling when you're absolutely nailing a lap and that catches you off guard. So it might catch some more people off guard. We've already seen it a couple of times. I catch a couple more people off guard later on in the race, and we've got much worse tyres.
Yeah, so we're just looking at the intervals between the drivers. So Adam Hughes and Stefan McCartan obviously pulling away up the front. As always, Robbie Griffiths is holding strong in P3. Alex Court and Nathan Verney involved in that battle. And behind them is Tyson Style and Jake Edwards behind, having a little battle of their own. Other than that, not too much to report on. We'll be waiting to see these pit stops. We're at 6.5 minutes gone in this race, and it'll definitely be a battle to see who pits first, who pits last, and who is the ultimate winner out of those pit stops.
Most definitely, and it's just on a side note, we've got Mr. J-Mac. He's up another spot now, so he's up 5 positions now, guys. So he's up in 11th now, down the back of the pack there. Oh, he's just
Woodby's fighting him very hard. He's lost a spot, dropped back about 5/10, so probably left him quite a lot of room. This car's getting very far away from us, as we said before. The camera angles do sometimes fail us as they come now into the little bus stop chicane. And
some pretty impressive race times to be in the 22s.
Yeah, there's a low 22s as well, so some of these drivers didn't even get down into the 22s in their quali time, so some very, very fast laps being set. Robbie Griffiths setting the fastest with that 1:22.23.
We could have some race times. These guys are drafting off each other as well now, so they're getting each other's toes. So might even get some faster times than we might see than we actually saw in qualifying. If all the conditions are right for one person, or see who gets fastest lap today.
Sorry, Nathan Verney has dropped way down the order. Something's happened to him. I believe he may have had a spin or an incident. He's dropped very far down the order from Alex Court. Alex Court's also dropped about a second behind Robbie Griffiths. So maybe those two possibly not had a coming together, but maybe a little incident or an unforced error possibly that's happened. I don't know if we can get a replay of that, but Jake Edwards is catching up to Tyson Styles up in P5, so a couple of little battles developing, and these guys will obviously develop some other battles after the pit stops as well. Really? Sorry, Nathan is telling us that we've got nothing from Nathan Verney, and I'm just checking the events as well. There really is nothing, so maybe he's disconnected.
Yeah,
looks
maybe
like he may have disconnected.
Glitch or something, maybe? Who knows?
Yeah. But unfortunate for Nathan, he was having a good race. And maybe just technical difficulties from him. Looks like he is out of the race. Yeah, server disconnected due to incoming packet loss, it says in iRacing. So he has, disconnected, which is unfortunate.
That's always disappointing. It's never nice to see, especially when he was on the charge up as well, so...
Yeah. That is Steven Sinkovic, who has hit the wall and hold the brakes.
Oh no,
he didn't have
anything. He couldn't do anything about that.
That's Brad Wall who was hit.
There. I think he was trying to get out of the way, but
race control.
A car inadvertently got in his way. So I've got 2 cars out of the race there, guys. By the look of that, or back into the pits to be very largely repaired. Yeah, we'd love to slam over that crash.
Nathan Verney's just connected back in as Stefan McCartan sets a 1:21.906 from that last one. You can just see he gets a bit further than he wants to and just gets on the gravel, and it just sets that rear end around and straight into the wall. I think
he was a passenger at that point. By this point, he's a passenger. There's nothing he could do. Literally nothing he could do. But it looks like he had a bit of power in that back wheel. Oh man! Wow, what a crash!
Can't really turn much when your wheels aren't connected. So that's just a very unfortunate.
Right.
Thank you to DSL for the action replay. A big, small lockup. Sorry, from Greg Leak there, sitting in P9. He's up a couple of positions tonight. And Brett Wardby has gone down 6, but Remember, he had that spin at the start, so he's actually up a couple. He was right down the back of the grid, and he's fought back up to P10. So he's on the charge, definitely, to get some of those positions back.
Most definitely after his qualifying in fourth, so he'll be wanting to definitely get back up there.
Maybe gonna attempt an undercut there, as we've just been told by our resident producer that Stephen got a drive-through penalty due to that crash. As Nathan Verney, I believe, may have gotten back out on track, but it looks like he is out of the race, so most likely not. He did connect again, but I'm not sure if he's actually in the session yet, or he will be competing again. Fortunate for him, as we're now with Robbie Griffiths defending from Alex Court, and he's actually caught right up to Adam Hughes, and he'll be on the charge to get actually into the higher positions on the podium. He wants to get further up.
Most definitely. I think, yeah, Alex Court's gotten up to three positions there, so he's definitely on the hunt there.
About 2 seconds the gap between first and fourth, I believe, so keeping an eye on them.
It seems Alex Court looks like he might be getting some better corner exits than Robbie Griffiths at the moment, so it'd be interesting to see whether Robbie Griffiths jumps in a little bit early to try and get Alex off his back.
Yeah, Alex usually likes to jump in late, so I don't know if Robbie wants to then extend his stint to maybe gain as much as he can, or if he wants to go early to break the draft. It'll be definitely interesting to see as we get a nice cockpit cam of seeing a fine on board here from Alex Court. Another camera not really used, but I suppose we can call it a helmet cam, can't we?
Yeah, that'd be a definite helmet cam, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Actually, now that I think of it, we could actually sort a helmet cam where it sort of looks into each corner, whereas, you know, it doesn't really in-game, but we can sort of set it up so that it looks each corner. Alex Court's dropped back quite a little bit. He was sort of dropped back around 2 or 3 tenths, but I'm sure he's probably just playing it safe and maybe just waiting to get that car in front.
I believe
for his moment to count.
Or maybe he's just looked at the clock there and gone, about that 20-minute pit window, I might want to pit, so I might want to save a little bit of gas and a bit of tyres here. Maybe he's got enough of a gap in front of him, he's got enough of a gap behind him that he's comfortable, so he might just be saving a little bit here so he can go hard on the last stint.
Yeah, I know we have now that we speak of it, is Alex is very good at saving fuel, and he's able to take it a couple of one, if not 2 laps longer than most other people. So he's very, very good at the fuel saving. So I reckon that might actually be what he's doing. Robbie Griffiths doing a 1:21.677. That is with the draft, but that's an awesome lap from him. Greg Leake's going to have a look at Dean Sinkovic up the inside, coming into the final corner. Dean closes the door on him. Does he get the run on the outside? It looks like he does. Cuts him off. Some awesome racing from these two veterans, I'm going to call them, is I suppose the nice way to put it. Some great racing. Dean jumps to the inside to defend nice and cleanly, and he's able to get that run up the inside. No lockups from him, as these two are going to continue that battle all the way to the end. Oh, there it is, the move from Greg around the outside. What a move. I wonder if Dean's let him have that move, but that's a great move around the outside if he hasn't.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm not sure if he's let him have it or not, or maybe he's just trying to use a bit of slipstream, save some gas here, but who knows? We got Peter Morris behind them. Is that Peter Morris behind them? Trailing up behind them?
Brett Wardby, I believe, is 6 tenths on them. And up in front is Callan Hodgkinson and Jake Edwards on Tyson Styles, who are having a little crisscross 3-way battle here. So team order's probably going to come into play a little bit, maybe just swap around the draft, but it looks like they're all sitting quite comfortably behind each other, so they might just cruise towards the end of the race.
Yeah, like a Tour de France peloton they're looking like right about now.
All looking the same all the way through. A couple of nice promo shots for the team, I reckon.
Yeah, beautiful.
As Stefan continues to lead them away.
Very nice.
You can see just from that gearbox cam just how close Adam Hughes is getting up to the back of that car on Stefan McCartan. You can see right up the back. It's about 5/10, but if you're going at those type of speeds, it's a lot closer. So these guys are really pushing.
Great on these things.
Now, the last lap that they did was a 21.8 and a 21.4 from Adam Hughes, but I believe it was not counted. He may have had an off track. So these guys are putting in some incredible blistering times, blisteringly quick. So,
and in the next couple of minutes, in the next few minutes, we should see whether there's going to be some undercuts or what these sort of pit strategies play out in the next 5 minutes or so, guys. So it should be interesting to see.
Be very interesting to see. I reckon there's going to be a couple of those boards. Jake Edwards has dropped very far back from Callum Hodgkinson. I'm not sure if he's had an incident, maybe had a little spin or a lockup that's dropped him back. Looks like we might be able to get a action replay on that one, as we will get a DSL Welding Services action replay. Looks like he's already dropped back here, but it looks like he may have dropped back even more. As, yeah, it gets on the power a bit too hard, and that car just goes around.
It's so easy to do here. So easy to do here. It's just lowers you into a false sense of security because, you know, you can go so hard out in these cars and they've got so much grip. It's just a very easy trap to fall into.
Yeah, Brett Wardby looks to have gotten past Dean Sinkovich as he has appeared on track in front of him. So Brett Wardby really is on the charge, I should say, to get those positions back. And I can foresee him probably maybe even jumping Jake Edwards, Callum Hodgkinson, maybe even Tyson Stiles. So it might be a battle on for P5 here if the pit stops go perfectly for these boys.
Oh yeah, true. That just adds another element to it as well. And then we've got John McHenry, J-Mac, we've got him just behind Dean Sinkovich, who wraps out the top 10. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out with John McHenry, to see how he plays his pit stop. He's definitely a very smart racer, so we'll see what happens.
That was a spin in front of John. I believe that is one of the Sinkovich's. No, it is Brad Wall for Crisscross Racing.
He was down.
I do have to ask, Brad, what's happening, mate? You're doing shame to my 22. What are you doing, mate? He did quite well in the opening weeks, and it seems that he's sort of fallen back a little bit, but we love him just the same. As we're watching Brett Wardby now, the 25, attacking that 71 of Greg Leake. He is looking to make that move as soon as he can to get in front and attack the boys in front. It's about a 5.5 gap to Jake Edwards in front of these two, and the more these guys battle, the more that gap will start to form. A lockup from Greg Leake here. Brett is going to have the run, I reckon. He's going to be on the inside. He doesn't lock up, he doesn't spin this time. He's going to have the inside coming into the right-hander, and it looks like he will get that move done. That's a lovely orchestrated move by Brett Wardby.
That was absolute poetry in motion, was it not? That was, yeah.
Lovely to watch. Yeah, possibly replay worthy even, but there's a battle actually heating up at the front. Adam Hughes is about 2.5 tenths closer to Stefan McCartan, than he was before. And Robbie Griffiths a second behind him. Alex Court getting involved as well. He's just over 6 tenths behind Robbie Griffiths. So a real battle shaping up for these podium positions.
We shall see our pit stops coming through as well soon, guys. One of the cars just come out of the pits as these guys were flying down the pit straight. So yeah, we'll see how these tactics play out soon.
That was Greg Johnston. Oh, that's a spin. That is Stefan McCartan. He's got on the grass on the left-hand side. And he has spun our leader. It hasn't happened at Hockenheim where Sebastian Vettel did it. It's happened at the Nürburgring. And that is a very awful thing to happen to our race leader. That's not something you want to see. Robbie Griffiths jumps into P2, and Alex Court has been able to jump a little bit closer to Robbie Griffiths. So that is very, very unfortunate for Stefan. I'm sure we'll be able to talk to him after the race and see what happened from him. But sometimes, yeah, you get a bit comfortable, you get that car, you get into a bit of a rhythm, you zone out a little, and you just get on that grass, and it can really screw your race over, as we've seen there.
Yeah, most definitely. And surprisingly, those crisscross boys had enough of a bit of a gap to the rest of the field that they could. He's only dropped down to fourth here, so he's actually held on to it quite well. So that's pretty impressive that he hasn't dropped down further than we could have seen him drop.
Tyson Styles has dropped into the pits. Now, I'm not sure if he had an incident. He jumped to pits. So Tyson Styles, yeah, I'm just looking now. He went off track. So that looks like he has had an incident that has possibly screwed his race. We'll get DSL action replay now. He was doing quite well. Yeah, he's gone. Oh, right into the wall.
That was weird.
Way too much speed.
It seemed like it just
into the corner, and that's
to one side of the to the wrong direction.
Looked like it didn't really turn, eh?
Yeah, it just kind of half turned through the corner and then just went straight ahead. That was very strange.
Well, that'll make it easier for Brett Waterbeer, one less position that he's got to overtake, but it looks like almost half the field has been lapped. Dean Sinkovich has also been lapped by Adam Hughes and Robbie Griffiths. So a 1:21.447 from Adam Hughes. That is an incredible time from him. Peter Morris, as we're on board with now, the Fishy Motorsports driver. He's currently sitting in P11. He's 2.5 seconds away from Greg Leake. Is he able to get in front of the Team Greg driver? We will have to wait and see.
Mr. John McHenry's up 7 positions now, guys. That's just insane. He's done very, very well. He's profited from another few people's mistakes there as well. So he's
Alex
very
Court
patiently
dropped down to P5. Alex was battling for P2. I wonder what's happened to him as well. There is absolute chaos in this race. I don't know. Maybe Alex has gone in for an early pit stop. I'm not sure what has happened. It does look like he has gone in for an early pit stop, so Alex Court will be the one to watch coming up to these couple of pit stops for the front runners. Stefan McCartan was able... McCartan.
Oh.
Sorry, Stefan. I finally caved and I did it. I'm really sorry. You need to change your name, mate. It was bound to happen. You are exactly right. It's spelled Tane, mate. You gotta change your last name.
It's not curtain, is it? You call it a curtain, right? So you don't call it
curtain.
Yeah,
exactly.
So it's curtain. You don't call it
yeah, no,
curtain,
right? A carton is C-A-R-T-O-N, right? A carton of milk.
No, but like no.
Yeah, I've got Nathan, our producer, agreeing with me on that one. So
a curtain is C-A-T-A.
Hang on, nah, I'll fix this. I'll fix this.
A curtain
in our
like
group
you have
chat.
on a window. Different spelling, but carton. Yeah, we'll just leave it at Stefan McCartan. Callan Hodgkinson, he's up quite a few positions here, guys. He's done very, very well. He's up 5 spots. As I mentioned earlier, he was going to be one to watch. So as these pit stops unfold, we'll see how things go.
Yes. Yeah, so Alex Court is the only one of those front runners to have pits. Nathan, that's quite all right. I'm just trying to make sure that we don't have any blanks. Yeah. Can we hear you on the stream or not?
No.
Alrighty. So yeah, just trying to keep it going. Yeah, we're just looking at Greg Johnston now. That is a very, very nice blue livery. I do quite like it. It might be my favorite this week. Is Greg Johnston for the Team Greg.
It'd be quite cool for this round, or whether it's for the new livery, but it's quite cool if it was just for this round. But it's very, very cool as a new livery too.
Yeah, I hope they continue to use that one because it's very, very nice. Maybe has a couple of new sponsors and stuff. So be looking forward to seeing that one in the coming weeks. Yeah, they love the shiny liveries down at Team Greg.
Nice. And the number 61 car.
The gaps seem to have sort of changed around, so we've got not really any battles really happening now. So Alex Court is 6 seconds back from Callan Hodgkinson, but we'll be keeping an eye on him to see what the gap is after the pit stops, because that's about a 30-second gap to Adam Hughes. So be
Bradley Wall seems to have had a crash
to
there as well,
see.
guys, unfortunately. He seems to have, well, we'll get an action replay on that one. Oh, that's a shame. He was just making his way back up really nicely too.
Yep, it's that same corner, as I said. That's why I do not like this layout, is because you get a bit too comfortable coming through it on the power, and you think you can maybe put a little bit more, and that little bit more is what sends you around.
100%, especially with this with that chicane layout, because the other chicane layout kind of folds back on itself a little bit. So if you're not kind of used to that, or this one, you know, you can take it a lot quicker pace, and that's what gets people very discombobulated a little bit. It's a bit confusing sometimes, or distracting how different it is when you get quite tired when we're getting into the 26th minute of a race. That's a lot of laps around Nürburgring, so we're feeling for you guys.
Exactly right. So I'm just reading, Tyson Styles and Jake Edwards have both disconnected from the session. So unfortunate for those boys to have those incidents, but sometimes that is just how it goes. Greg Leak getting out of the way from our leaders. So Alex Court, as Callum Hodgkinson comes into the pits, Alex Court is able to get amongst the front runners and get back. You can see that 30-second gap as those guys still haven't pit. So it'd be interesting to see. I'm just going to watch Callum Hodgkinson's pit stop. So the total pit lane time for Alex was 34 seconds. So Callum's only done 29 from the looks of things. So if Alex can maintain this 30-second gap, he might actually be able to jump Adam Hughes, Robbie Griffiths, and Stefan McCartan. So this will be a very, very close battle to watch as we see these guys come into their final pit stops. As I think they might have to come in this lap because there is
their pit window is definitely very
that pit window is definitely closing. As Adam Hughes just got even faster, 121.420, 520 for Robbie Griffiths, and a 969 from Stefan McCartan.
Oh no, stop! Oh, how worn these tyres would be as well, guys. That's a pretty impressive lap.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. Adam Hughes knows how to absolutely squeeze all the time out of his tyres, out of his car. So it's not really a surprise to see him doing those times so late on.
Wow, this is getting very, very interesting to see these guys. Alex Court's is pretty in, but that top three, I think they're going to try and outlast each other. I think to this last lap, this will be their only real chance before the pit window ends. So it'll be very, very interesting. Along with John McHenry there, he's up as we said, he's actually up 10 positions now, but he hasn't pitted. So we'll see how John McHenry slots, how he kind of comes out in the wash after the pits as well. But it looks like John McHenry's trying to push it a bit further so he can get a couple more laps out of it.
Yeah, Callum Hodgkinson coming out of the pits as well. So Brett Wardby as well. So it looks to be around a 30 to 35 second pit stop time. So these guys are really pulling it all out as Stefan McCartan comes into the pits, as I think he is the only one to come into the pits. Adam Hughes and Robbie Griffiths stay out.
Stay out. Oh, that's
so let's see, is Alex Court able to jump him under the pit stops, get that undercut, get onto the podium, and will Stefan McCartan be able to get back into those podium positions? We'll see it now. The pit stop has commenced. He's just gone into his box. It's about a 7-second stop. So he's just gone out now at 6.73. He's had a good pit stop. He's right at the end of the pits. That's a very, very fast pit stop. It's only just under 35 seconds. He's able to get in front. Alex Court is unable to get that undercut done. That is a very, very, very clean pit stop from Stefan McCartan, and a very, very, very good call from the team to get that done.
Oh, most definitely, especially after that last little incident. It's definitely kept him in the running, that pit stop. That's some mastery right there. So beautifully done by beautiful racecraft there from Stefan. On board with Brett Wardby here. He's back up into 6th here. He doesn't look like he should be coming into the pits now. All right, I'm not sure if he's pitted yet. We get those pit windows back up.
Brett has pitted, so he'll be wanting to get in front of those boys. John McHenry also came into the pits in that last lap. He's still up 6 positions, sitting in P10, so an awesome job from him. Adam Hughes is up 2 in first position, and Robbie Griffiths behind him. Those two still haven't jumped in the pits, so The gap is around 32 seconds to Stefan McCartan, depending on where they those two qualified quite high up. So they'll want to jump into the pits sooner rather than later and make sure that that gap doesn't come down further than it needs to go.
Yeah, and fresh tyres with 10 laps. These guys, you'll see some serious pace from, not that we haven't seen some serious pace from these guys yet, but you'll see a little bit more.
Splash and dash, I reckon.
Yep,
Splash and dash and a sprint to the end.
Yep, 100%. These guys will be finding the extra gear.
You can see even there, the way Adam Hughes came through that corner, you could see it getting a little bit wobbly. It was even getting a bit loose, but that's just how hard he's pushing those tires in that car. He's pushing it to the absolute limit.
Definitely. Just that downshift rotation through there. You have to nail that line just to keep that speed through there. Otherwise, it will really cut down your time in that sort of connecting little bit of a straight there.
Brad Wall coming into the pits. You can hear just off in the distance, if you'd listen out for it, you can hear a sort of alarm bell ringing, and that signifies that these guys are going into the pits. Now, I wonder, Adam Hughes and Robbie Griffiths may be pushing all the way to the end. There's under 10 minutes to go. The pit window seems to have definitely closed by now, but they've got a 34-second almost lead ahead of Stefan McCartan and Alex Court, who are going to start battling any moment now. So that lead is actually going to get even further. So I wonder what is going to happen after those front two pits.
Oh, 100%. It'll be a cat amongst the pigeons, I believe, because it's going to be very hard for these guys to make it back if they're pitting that late, I believe, but you never really know. They might not be in the best position, but they might have saved a lot of tyres, so they're just using those tyres for, good luck to them if they want to go a no-stopper, to be honest, but who knows.
I'm not too sure if you can do a no-stopper, but if they do it, that'll definitely be the beneficial thing to do. But I'm pretty sure it is one compulsory stop that they have to do. So I think they're wanting to go into the pits as late as possible to try and extend that lead. As you can see, Alex Court is really catching up to Stefan McCartan now. He's right on the tail. These guys have dropped about 2 seconds as Robbie Griffiths goes into the pit lane. Adam Hughes stays out. We'll stay on board with this battle. Never mind, we'll go to Robbie Griffiths, we'll go back to the battle. And we'll see Alex Court and Stefan McCartan. These guys are going to want to use all that draft. Is Alex going to go for the move up the inside? It looks like he has a look. He thinks better of it, knows better to go for that move, and these guys will carry that speed through the chicane. There is a spin in front of them. It's I believe it's one of the back markers at Bradley Wall. So we'll see these guys come out the pits. They're coming down the front straight now. Robbie Griffiths has come out the pits, and he's come out ahead of these guys. So this is an awesome pit strategy. The strategy is to go later, but here's Alex Court up the inside of Stefan McCartan. He gets the apex. Stefan goes wide, and Alex Court gets into those podium positions. A lovely, lovely overtake again from Alex Court. We are accustomed to seeing it here on SRW TV. A beautiful overtake, and I'm sure this battle will continue coming into the final 6 minutes of this race.
It did seem in
look at that, the move. Stefan's gone back at him. Sorry to interrupt you there, Toddy. Stefan's gone right back at him straight away, but Alex is going to have the inside onto the next corner. This is going to be a battle right down to the wire. They're side by side. Is Stefan going to have the corner? He is. They're going to stay side by side, but Alex is able to stay in front. This is some incredible driving from these two. These two have so much respect for each other, and it's really showing. Adam Hughes into the pits now. These two are going to be side by side, coming into the bus stop. Is anyone going to back out? No, they're going to stay side by side. Stefan McCartan just backs out and stays behind, thinking better of going too wide through there. They would lose way too much time. As is Robbie Griffiths going to be able to cut that time down? As Adam Hughes comes out to the pits, he's up to speed now. And it doesn't look like it. So Robbie Griffiths and Adam Hughes have pulled off the strategy of dreams. Absolute strategy of dreams. The tactic here seems to have been to go long, and those two have pulled it off brilliantly. So the battle is going to be on for third now, and I think we'll stay with this for the final 5 minutes.
Absolutely beautiful driving move. Beautiful driving there, guys. This is 35. They had about a 35-second gap there because they pushed it out so far. So as we saw, we were sitting about that 35-second pit stop. But those guys have obviously had a crazy quick pit stop to be able to both get out and
was
still
a 6.1 second pit stop time from Adam Hughes, a total of 34.25 and 6.82 for Robbie Griffiths compared to the 7 seconds of Alex Court and the 6.73 for Stefan McCartan. So Stefan's stop wasn't too slow, to be honest, but it seems that they just had that gap, and that gap was enough to just pull them ahead.
Yeah.
Dean and Greg having a little battle there in P7 and P8, as you can see on the timing board. The gap there is about just 3 tenths. We'll stay with Stefan McCartan here as he looks to go for a move around the outside in Alex Court. Alex Court defending nicely, as he always does, our resident wall for After Dark Sim Racing.
Respectful intimidation comes to mind. This is what's happening on track right now. Both trying to intimidate each other respectfully, try and push each other to make some mistakes here, I believe. But these guys are far too high caliber to make any mistakes this part of the race. So this is a great little battle to see.
You can see just how wide Stefan gets on that last corner there coming into this one. That's because he wants to maximize that exit speed onto the next one and make sure that he has as much speed as well as the draft to get into that right-hander, that hairpin. But it looks like he wasn't able to carry it this time. The rear end kind of stepped out there, maybe taking a little bit of grass. He's going to drop back a little bit, but he'll have the draft into the next corner. So Stefan is going to probably sit behind, and I reckon he'll make a move on the last lap. With a minute 30 to go, I think Adam is going to take us to 2 more laps. So this is going to be right down to the wire for these two for that podium spot, and I'm sure they will have some words about it in the comms box afterwards. I'm sure we'll get all 4 of those drivers into our little post-race interviews. Toddy, if you want to take those, I'm very happy for you to take them away.
That sounds good. That sounds good to me, mate. Sounds awesome to me. Been an absolutely amazing race so far, and it's great to see Stefan McCartan with that little bit of a fight back and this little bit of a respectful intimidation going on here, guys. But this real battle is really cool. I just noticed something as well. You'll see these little, these little battles where he show the nose as well. So you'll see Stefan McCartan come out up the outside of him, show him his nose, trying to intimidate him a bit, and then go back on the inside or try to do the over and under. So we will see. See, here we go. Here we go. We'll see it right now.
You can see how much wider he goes through the corner. That's because he wants to maximize the exit once again. And the same thing goes here. So there's only one line through the next couple of corners, but there is a way to maximize that exit speed. And Alex Court is doing as best he can to try and form a little bit of a gap, but that draft is so powerful here. Stefan McCartan just gaining. Coming into the bus stop chicane, you can see how close these two are getting, and Stefan's had an awesome run through the bus stop. Alex has to defend on the inside, so just 1.5 separates these two, and it's going to come right down to the wire. I believe this will take us to the final lap. We'll look for Barney the flagman waving it. Couldn't see him, but I believe this will be the final lap.
All right, here we go. Here we see the moves now, guys. Now we see the moves.
Sorry,
so Robbie Griffiths seems to have made a bit of a mistake here. Is he going for a battle or not?
He's going for around the outside, and yeah, Robbie Griffiths. It looks like Adam Hughes has made a mistake, and Robbie Griffiths is looking to capitalize on that as well on the final lap. I'm not sure what's going on there, but we'll stay with this one, as it looks like Robbie probably won't be able to get that position, just maybe a little bit too far back, unless he full sends it on Adam Hughes. But it looks like Stefan is really trying to muster everything he can on this final lap. He's going to have to make a dive bomb into the bus stop chicane if he wants anything to do with a podium tonight. Will he be able to do it? He gets on the power. He's in 4th gear, shifts up to 5th. These cars get up to 240 k's an hour is the maximum speed I've seen. That's from Brett Wardby, and they're going to get right. He's going to be too far back to dive up the inside. He's going to be able to maintain some speed through the bus stop, takes a bit of curve, gets all the way out to the side. Adam Hughes is going to be our race victor, followed by Robbie Griffiths. Alex Court, a lovely defensive show from him tonight. He takes P3, followed by Stefan McCartan in P4. And Toddy, I don't think we could have asked for a more action-packed final 20 minutes.
Oh wow, man, and a race. We've got four drivers have gone up 4 positions, and one driver that's gone up 8 positions this race. Just crazy, guys. So you can never predict who's going to be up the top. You can never predict who's going to win these things, and it just goes to show you. You have to come and watch on our F3s and all our coverage of SRW TV, so you don't miss all these awesome races as well. Hey, Dano.
You got to make sure to like and subscribe, turn the notifications bell on. I've got my notifications on. I got notified that our Supercars Super 2 broadcast went out. I believe, Toddy, you broadcasted on that one. That was a pretty good little broadcast. And yeah, get notified every time we go live, everything like that.
Our illustrious producer was for the Super 2s also, so Mr. Nathan Shibby, our producer for tonight also. So he was part of the Super 2s also.
Yeah, a good drive from these guys, and I will actually get John in as well into our little comms box. I think I'm going to give him driver of the day. He's up from right at the back, up 8 positions. So.
Oh, bloody hell, that's craziness. Just half your positions, mate. That's good on you. Good on you, mate. You know.
Coming down from P16 up into P8, an awesome drive from John, as we will definitely get him into our little box and see how his race went. As I'll leave the interviews to you, but you can see just how close these guys were actually on that timing screen. You can see 6/10. Oh, a little bit of an incident there coming into the pits on the in lap from Greg Johnston and John McHenry. As we're seeing Steven Sinkovich doing a couple of doughies. I think he's very happy with his P12. Sorry, what was that?
Couple of does, mate, in the gravel.
Yeah, a couple of does, mate, and on the off circuit. I believe that's the off run to the Nordschleife.
With no front wing, it's probably about all that car can do at the moment is do donuts, I'm sure.
Is that a 2-day stop and hold?
He never even.
Oh, was there a penalty for that pit entry at the end of the race? Was there?
I don't believe that'll. No, I don't believe that'll count because it's after the race. I think it'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'll just listen to the boys.
Oh. There's some very nice donuts and Steven Sinkovich there. Do we have a little bit of a break before we want to go to interviews?
Yeah, we'll just have a little break. I believe Stefan has denied an interview tonight. Maybe just not feeling it. Maybe a bit disappointed in himself, which that's quite all right. We're happy to respect that. As we'll see the standings now. We'll get a little race replay. So Adam Hughes taking out our race win, as we're kind of accustomed to see. Robbie Griffiths, a lovely race from him tonight. P2 for Fishy Motorsports. A great drive in the end from him and Adam with that awesome pit stop strategy that those two had. Alex Court up 2 or 3 positions. Sorry, how many positions was it? 4 or 5? Up into, sorry, it's four positions up into P3. A great race from him. Stefan McCartan, who started on pole, he's dropped down to P4, but a good race from him in the end. A couple of points on offer for him. Callan Hodgkinson up 4 positions as well, up into P5. Brett Wardby, Dean Sinkovich, John McHenry up 8 positions. He'll be our driver of the day. I don't know if you want to agree with that one, Toddy, for John for driver of the day.
Oh, 100%. Up 8 positions. As long as that drive-through penalty at the end didn't count, we should be sweet with those positions. But it looks like it's counted. So what a drive from John McHenry. We did warn earlier in the night that we thought he might be one to watch. So he did started in 16th and he finished in 8th. So he halved his positions. So it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, rounding down the order is John McHenry, Peter Morris, Greg Leake ran it at the top, Greg, and a top 10. Sorry, I looked at Team Greg Racing and I thought top Greg, but it is a top 10 for Team Greg Racing, and P11 is Greg Johnston, also for Team Greg Racing, and Steven Sinkovich, Nathan Verney, who unfortunately had that disconnect earlier, Brad Wall, who got unfortunately involved in quite a few incidents, Jake Edwards, who also had a disconnect, and Tyson Stars as well. So a couple of mechanical issues, I suppose, or technical issues as they really are, but I like to call them mechanical errors as we don't really have them in iRacing. But a couple
Yep.
of interesting ones tonight.
Yep. Too many. A few people in the
Yeah, got a couple of
in the
people in the green
garage
room.
today with broken
I
cars. So.
believe Nah, I'll bring them all in together. Actually, sorry, I'm gonna bring John in later because he's our driver of the day. But good race from you boys. Adam, Robbie, Alex, some good driving from you. I'll start with you, Alex, since you're up 4 positions, mate. A good drive from you. Just want to know what happened in quali.
Two things. Simply just didn't have enough pace, and my USB cable fell out of the back of the wheel. So I had
no.
That'll do it.
had no
Do it.
shifters. Yep.
Alrighty. So, what do you think actually compared your quali pace to your race pace? Was there any defining factors? Was it the draft or anything like that, or did you just feel like you had more consistency?
Simple answer is I have better race pace than I do quali pace at the moment.
Fair enough. You just got into that zone, eh?
Yep. That's it.
Yeah, it was a really, really good drive from you getting up into that podium spot. Was it tough at times battling Stefan? I know you pitted quite early, and it looked like it may not have benefited you in the end there, but you seem to have pulled it back. Was the battling good?
It was hard. It was hard work, that's for sure. Yeah, I don't think the strategy really paid off. I was probably just more lucky than anything to grab Stefan there. I think obviously because my tyres had come up to temp before him, so I think that's what helped there.
Sweet. As we'll move on to you, Adam. Actually, I'm going to move on to our race winner for tonight. I know a bit of an odd order, but Toddy, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, definitely. Adam, what a race, mate. What an absolutely dominating performance. That was really, really awesome. That pit stop was definitely a stroke of genius. If you guys came out the places you did, so it was very, very good. It seemed like you saved a bit of tire and a bit of fuel in that first stint, maybe?
Yeah, full credit to Stefan. He should have probably been where I am, and I should have been in second because he 100% should have won this race. He just had a real bad moment coming out of the fast left right, and massive tank slapper. But yeah, he should have won this race. But prior to that, I was just sort of making it obvious to him, I'm not passing you, dude. Let's just work together, check out, get out of here, and I was saving fuel behind him, going probably quarter way up the straight. I was just clutching in and just letting the fuel sort of just stop being used. So I was able to get like another 3 or 4 laps out of the tank, which was nice.
Nice. Was it? Yeah, it was. Yeah, it seemed like a 3 or 4 laps was.
You guys stretched those
was-
tanks.
Yeah, no, Stefan made it work, and yeah, thanks to his
Sorry.
draft, I was able just to make it work, so it was good.
Toddy, did you get it all out, mate? Sorry.
No, you go. No. All
No,
good.
did you get your question out? It sort of sounded like you just had a little stroke.
No. Maybe it was my audio having a gremlin. Sorry. Maybe
Maybe.
it halfway cut out halfway through me talking. So I apologize for that.
That's good race from you, Adam. And finally, we'll go to our Fishy Motorsports driver, Robbie Griffiths. A lovely race from you tonight, mate. Up into P2. I'll start off by asking, how was it? But you set an incredible quali time as well.
Yeah, it was definitely hard work. Had a little bit more downforce, I think, than the two boys up front. So I kept on catching through 1, 2, and 3. But then we got to the straights and they'd just break back to the same gap. But yeah, I had good pace, but unfortunately this car, it really doesn't come up, the tyres don't come up to temperature and give you great confidence until you've done about 4 laps. So quali's a bit funny. If you chuck it in the wall, you've got to go and do another 4 laps to get it back into the zone. And hence tonight I thought I was probably in the mix there for nearly P1 for the last lap because my temps were just up where Adam was doing a bit of weaving trying to get some temps in. I could see him going about the business of trying to, and he was losing pace pretty quick. So it was pretty tight, but great race by everyone up the front. Yeah, it's a pity Stefan lost it there through the fast ones because he definitely had the speed to take the win tonight. So And I was
What,
fully expecting Alex to come out of the pits in P2 because he's usually a good pit stopper and right on the money. So somewhere here I got lucky and he dropped 6 seconds or so. So I got pretty lucky there.
What was your strategy, Robbie, coming into those pit stops? Were you just following on from Adam? Because I know you came in 1 lap earlier. Were you also fuel saving?
Not necessarily fuel saving in this because it's just absolutely flat out, but I wasn't quite as much draft as Adam, so I obviously didn't quite save that 1 extra litre. I had to come in. I could have maybe snuck another one in, but more so I knew that I had a few laps left and I wanted to get the tyres back to a warmer temperature for the last lap, which is pretty much I came in where I wanted to.
And that's where you ended up catching Adam there towards the end. And I know it was about a 9/10 gap, I believe, as you guys crossed the line. So it was getting quite heating up there.
Yeah, it certainly was into the final. The first turn of the last lap, unfortunately, I pinched a brake and locked up on the outside and just let him get a little bit too far away for the lap. But otherwise, it was going to be always going to be a pretty close finish. So it was great.
Sweet as. So I'll bring in our driver of the day for tonight, which is John McHenry. Now, John, are you with us?
I am here, mate. You got me?
8 positions tonight, mate. We've decided to give you the driver of the day. You've started way at the back and you found yourself up in P8. How was the racing tonight?
It was good. I literally came screaming in at the last minute and managed to make the session. I wasn't actually going to race tonight, so feels good to actually barely get a qualifying lap in and move forward in the field.
It's very, very
I mean, as
impressive.
well,
Very
go on,
patient.
John.
You're just chipping away from the back, and it seemed like you were just very happy letting everybody else make their mistakes and just chipping away. So well done.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, just following some of the guys, either let them make a mistake or just follow them long enough till they might have made that mistake. Just keep it clean and get around the track was my idea tonight.
Nice.
So I guess we'll start with John. Have you got anyone you want to thank tonight as our driver of the day?
The boys at Locked On Lads, obviously, been part of the team out there. Brewster Coffee for their sponsorship of the team. Yeah, that's all I've got in the back of my mind at the moment, and it's just great to have everyone out there racing tonight, nice and clean and good fun.
We'll then go to Alex.
Yeah, as always, 2 personal sponsors, DSL Welding Services and Racing with Autism Australia. Team sponsors, DSL Welding, Corp IT, Dragon RC, Above and Below Stump Grinding, Tree Minded, Mod Tint, Racing with Autism Australia, ABC Transport, AA Designs, all you guys behind the scenes for putting on an awesome show and awesome league. As always, massive shout out to Gary Bradshaw in New Zealand, and I also want to give a special shout out to Jessica Benj from Racing with Autism. Wishing you a speedy recovery from COVID.
Thank you for that, Alex. That was a very heartfelt thing. But it's actually you that puts on the show every night. It's all of you drivers. Not just you. It's all of the drivers on track. You guys all put on a show every night. And lastly, we'll come to you, Adam, as well.
Just thank Stefan again, Crisscross Racing, Doom Designs, Tyler Schwartz, and Jennifer Russell Real Estate, and AE Boards and Smoke Studios. And obviously, you 2 gents for obviously hosting the broadcast, and obviously to J-Mac and to Alex and Griffo for the good race tonight, as well as Stefan. But sadly, he's not here because yeah, it's a bit of bad luck his way tonight.
All righty.
Really
So
nice I don't know. I missed that from our illustrious producer there, Nathan.
Oh, it's been Nathan as well. Sorry, buddy.
I think that will bring us to the end of our.
illustrious producer, Nathan Chibi
Mate,
Howard.
You're
there would be.
doing a good job, Nathan. Love your work. Love your work.
Yeah, there would be no broadcast without Nathan.
100%.
So
Definitely. So
there would be no stream without Nathan.
we're just the clowns that come along and
So
get
you
really
really
excited about you guys racing.
have-
That's really the guy that makes it all work.
to remember to thank him. So he does his best, and he's doing
Oh, we got
an
Graham
awesome
his,
job
audio here a bit, I think.
for a first
Oh,
Sounds like
Oh,
Dano's
that's
internet's
fine.
on the way out again.
yeah.
timer.
Optimus Prime. You're painting on us, Dano.
I think he's gone.
I
Yeah,
think it's-
sometimes
he's- oh, there he is.
we
Oh,
Sounds like it's time to wrap
Okay.
it
Shut
up,
up.
boys.
that's fine. Okay, guys, we'll wrap
Because we're
this up. I think Dano's internet seems like it's
listening
jumped off the short long walk off a
to
short pier. So
Nathan
wrap this
absolutely
up for
losing
tonight.
his shit because he's watching you guys racing.
Here we go. Oh, here we go. A bit of crashing them up. Oh, the sync of
yep,
it,
I have
boys. Main stage. Sitting here,
wrap us
getting
up,
smashed
Toddy.
up together. Thank you very much, guys, for coming. I think Dano's back on audio now. I'm not sure, but if you're there, please say goodbye to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
He's
There's a
not.
no.
And now
Okay,
I'm on
thank
my
you very
car.
much, SRW TV, DSL Welding Services, and Dragon RC for your support with the series and all your support with all the awesomeness. Everybody else out there that goes in behind the scenes with SRW. Everybody else, thank you and much love, guys. See you soon.